welcome to the Science of Golf Performance YouTube show. My name is Alex, and these are my two co-hosts.
I'm Chris.
I'm Bobby.
And today we're going to talk about elite performance, elite golfers, and how they can improve their game, their swing speed, their performance overall on the golf course. So we've talked a lot about junior golfers on this show. We've talked about senior golfers. But it comes to another level when you're talking with the pros, people who are on tour, trying to get onto the tour. And some different outlook on the training. How can we progress it? They're at another level at some point. Hopefully, athletically developed a little different than seniors and juniors. So, hopefully,
Maybe. Not always.
But we'll talk about some how to assess them. And how to make sure that they're getting the most out of their game and that they can be successful wherever they're going with their golf.
Yeah, so I think that's the key. I think that's the first thing. The first quote-unquote secret to really successfully adding speed. If you are an elite level player, maybe you're on tour, you're looking to move up on tour. Maybe you're coming out of college and you're looking at the next level. Wherever you are, you're on the mini tours. I think the key is speed helps. Speed, there's a direct relationship between how far you're hitting the ball and obviously how much you're making. Obviously, the argument is it has to go straight or at least straight-ish.
Just can't go out of bounds every hole.
You would not make
some of us. It's why I don't make a living playing golf.
No, you don't. You do fund my children's education, though. Thank you.
$10 at a time. That's fine.
Community college, baby. But I think it's the first step is really assess. I mean, it's the same number one. I think regardless of age group, is we need to assess. I think there's this misconception of I'm elite. I need to do different things. You're still a human. You still have the same basic needs. We need to assess. Can you rotate in the areas that you need to rotate? What is your power profile? We still need to know those baselines.
Yeah, I think we talked in a previous episode, or y'all talked about some junior golfers looking like baby giraffes. And I think we've had some times where we've had 25-year-old golfers that still look like baby giraffes. The only difference is they're playing at such a high level that they're able to swing a club for guys over 115 miles per hour, or the ladies are in the upper 90s, maybe even touching 100. And it's wait, you're doing that, and I give you a kettlebell and you look like a baby giraffe. That's not a good combination.
Right. It's what are you leaving on the table if you are that age and you're just swinging so fast, but you haven't tried these other methods, and you just think there's so much more elite. How much more elite could that person get?
Oh, absolutely.
And I think the fact of the matter is a lot. I would say the majority of elite golfers out there have a lot left on the table. And that's the scary part of how much better they could get. I think the durability becomes into big question.
Yeah.
I think that's a big hot topic with as fast as everybody's swinging a tour now is, well, how long are these people going to last? Well, if they don't start training smart, they ain't going to last very long. That will be shorter careers.
Right.
That's for darn sure.
Yeah. With as much as they're practicing, as much as they're playing, as much as they're traveling to go play and they're running around all over the place, without any strength behind that powerful swing, you're just asking for disaster to happen. So
how do we train that strength? What's that? So we say number one is they need to assess to figure out where they're at. What's the second way? Once they know where they're at, step two is get stronger. How do we do that?
Well, we're going to assess them the same way, honestly, that we assess our seniors and our juniors. We're going to test their power. We're going to use, what we do in-house. We'll test their rotary power, their upper body power, their lower body power, along terms of vertical jump and throwing the medicine ball. And we'll still use those same tests. And we will see their club head speed and kind of see where they are as far as how much power is their body developing, how fast are they swinging, and where are they on that kind of timeline or that line, right?
So I think after that, it's assess where they are, if they've never touched a weight before, or if some of them right out of college. Some of our athletes have had really good programs in college. Most have not, right? There's a few now that are kind of coming back to us. They might be living in the area after college again, and at least they were part of our junior program and were exposed to some of those lifts. So it might be a little bit of a relearning, but again, we're trying to assess what their technical skill is on that lifting front so we can give them something safe. I think for me personally on the PT side of things, this is your livelihood to play this sport. I want to guarantee that whatever I give you is safe and it's going to make you better instead of, well, yeah, everyone else back squats, so I'm going to back squat you too, right?
Because I think where Bobby and I work well together with the elites is that that's exactly what he's doing, assessing that he can do these moves, like the greatest moves that we can do for them to, overload them so they continue to build strength over time. Like I want them to back squat, I want them to bench press, I want them to deadlift heavy relative to their strength levels.
Right.
But if Bobby tells me that, something's wrong in the system and that we have to regress a little bit, we come together on what's the next best thing that we can do for them. But we still want to load them. We still want to overload and make them build power that way.
Right.
So I guess what do you think about? I'm going to throw this question out there. The functional strength versus, is what you guys are doing here. Is this functional strength? I see. Well, I'll let you answer that.
I think, functional strength it's a bad name. I think it's to try to sound different than just work on your strength, right? I think it's a nice combination, Alex, for you to have that really strong powerlifting backgrounds. Like, the main lifts forwards and backwards, right? It's all about how can you do that the most efficiently? How can you build your strength in those movements? We want to blend that with creating an athlete, right? I see that as kind of, okay, how do we fit this person to that movement? But no, we're not doing anything that you might see from a hashtag functional strength person that's standing on a wobble board or standing on a Bosu ball or, God forbid, kneeling on a Swiss ball or...
A bunch of Turkish get-ups or like
that. What if you kneel on the ball and you do curls?
Well, it really only works the biceps if you actually go all the way down.
Oh.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Right. So if you're just kind of working in the half range,
functional.
that's a little bit, that's how the bicep works functionally. So that's where I think it's a little ironic people use that name and they don't understand functional anatomy. But that's a rant for a different time.
That's just a random example.
Random
I've
example.
never seen it anywhere.
Thankfully, I haven't. Yeah.
At least not live in person.
Yeah. No.
But along with, serious note, we are loading them on a stable surface and overloading them. We are also including those fast twitch, jumps, plyos, and there may be some more advanced methods to help them to get even better than they are already. So I have an athlete who has, this is pretty rare, but if they're really, really strong, stronger than I think that they need to be, maybe throwing in a little bit more of the fast twitch stuff, like the jumps, box jumps, having them use ground forces, absorbing ground forces as best as possible, that will benefit them. But things like depth jumps, we do like single leg box jumps, broad jumps, that's also great to throw into the elite programming.
What is strong enough? What is that?
I don't think we know for sure. We don't actually. I know we don't know at this point.
But we will soon.
Yeah, stay tuned.
If you're only working with a 50-pound dumbbell, that's not strong enough.
Agreed.
For any exercise. Right. If that's the only thing you're using.
Curls?
Yeah, no, probably still not strong enough.
Damn.
Yeah, sorry, Chris. You got to work on the biceps there.
All right.
And I think take it a step further. If you're squatting your body weight, you're on your way, but you're probably still not strong enough. That's really good.
Yeah.
But you can still if I have an athlete who can do that, that's great. But I'm still looking for them to get better. I'm still seeing those increases. Unless there's pain or that's not their cap. I know for a fact that's not their cap. They can still overload, they can still push, and we can continue to get stronger.
I think from a pure numbers or physics perspective, if you're swinging 115 miles an hour, just say you weigh 160 pounds, you're producing way more force than you are with even a 200-pound back squat, right? So if we're doing that in the gym, but you're going and say you take 50 driver swings during your training session and then you go play around, you're putting way more force on your body than anything we're doing in the gym.
Yeah.
And we will have quantifiable examples of that shortly.
How shortly?
We don't want to give it away.
Okay. All right. Well, I was more asking you seriously.
Don't worry. It's
Okay.
coming.
Okay. All right. So stay tuned for that. A lot of stuff to kind of look more in depth on that front.
But I think another thing, last thing we have to look at with elites too is that they travel way more than people in-house, juniors and seniors, and so recovery is going to be that much more important for them to make sure they're not, they're recovering properly, they're sleeping better, they're eating better. The travel sucks so much out of them. They're hydrated, so little things like that are going to be a lot like in their programming. I'm going to touch on them all the time. Like, is your nutrition on this week? Are you taking electrolytes when you go out? Like, what's your plan? But like getting off the plane, like going in, so little things like that. So much more needs to be dialed in when you're at that level.
Absolutely, every little detail matters so much, because saying the difference between first and 15th could be 2 strokes, right, over the course of 4 days. So every single detail matters so much to these people.
100%.
So
I don't have anything else, you guys.
Sounds good.
It just blew my mind about these curls, though. I'm gonna have to go rethink my life.
I mean, that's kind of why your sleeve's got a little extra room over there.
Yeah, I know. I'll work on it, though. That is my commitment to you, our viewers.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. Give us a like and a subscribe if you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.